Ladies and gentlemen, a short break for you because I'm sure you want to maintain this excitement that we just got from that last S&D game on Biolab, where we saw the guys from T1 make an amazing comeback. They were 5-1 down and then answered back with 5 in a row. That was amazing stuff. However, the start here, Mike, might I add, from these guys of the faction, they were coming back with a vengeance there for a second.
They were, but AVANT just shut everything down, getting an entire team down at the very beginning stages of this game. Right now, though, it is the faction with the drone in hand, going in for a little bit of a throw. Gets denied just shortly before he could go for it, and Buzzin is going to be trying to possibly stop this ball from going outside of the map. Now, with that, we are going to be having the guys from AVANT just throwing the ball out, resetting a little bit. Now Luca has this one again. He's going to be going for another play. He's going to be going for a throw, maybe go for a rebound, and he will be able to get it 1-0 there to them.
Yeah, got to love those rebound throws, and that's our first point on the board after 55 seconds to the guys of the faction, trying to answer back after they just narrowly lost that S&D up against T1. I mean, they were fumbling it. Someone threw them the ball. They threw them the S&D ball. Fumble. They eventually dropped it. I mean, 5-1 up. You really thought they were going to just put the nail in the coffin of the guys at T1, but they proved too good in the end. And as you can see here from your kill feed, they're trying to carry this momentum themselves. Hope picking up the big two-piece on Luca and Swifty before he's going to be shut down by Blue, doing his own two-piece, and Blue with the intercept. That was clutch. He's going to be running along sandbags now. He's going to have some help here from his teammates running straight up onto this roof. He needs to watch himself. So he's down here next to the dumpster. Out yellow tries to just do the rebound to regain some of that health. However, too many players there catching him in the pinch, and he's going to be shut down just like that. However, the guys from T1, they know how to capitalize off some kills, able to dunk that through, and before you know it, after 2 minutes, Mike, it is now a 4-1 game.
Yeah, Blue trying to run it over, though. He's going to go for a throw-in. Of course, it's going to fall a little bit dead there. And the players from TF are just going to try and stop them from getting that drone out of there. It doesn't seem to have worked too much there. The ball reset back over onto the glass alley. We have Wolfie with it now in his hands. He's over on Blue, and he's going to be going for this throw. And once again, they don't want to go for any fancy shots. You know, they're just, they don't want to go for any standard shots. So they're going for all the fancies, going for all the rebounds. And, I mean, they're still getting them in, so you got to give them credit for that.
Yeah, they're just doing the bread and butter play there, getting the bread and butter points. And 5-1 is your score right now after a quarter of the way through this map. Swifty and Buzzo both picking up kills there, and Wolfie still following suit. So T1 picking up a few kills right here. The rebound shot out from Blue. Another point on the board for the faction. T1 still up by 3 points, and as you can see there on your kill feed, they're also the ones who are getting all those kills. Now, interestingly, Mike, what I see here is, okay, if you were going to teach someone comeback uplink 101, the course you'd normally teach is, okay, lock down glass, get the other team to spawn over in green, and just keep running that glass route. Kill them as they run through the middle of the map or on that north side of the map, and just keep going, get those relays set up. However, neither of these top teams, seeded 1 and 2, are doing that whole glass route. And I've seen this more and more over the last, well, even month or two here on comeback uplink. And I think it's just a little bit of a change in the meta of the game. Glass has always been the place to be to lock down this map, but it doesn't seem anymore. And as you can see here, T1 are doing just fine without it.
Yeah, I mean, they are, and I mean, you see those points. They've got 6 points on that board in comparison to 2, so they're still getting points either way. And while you did mention, yes, that glass control is important, the meta constantly changes here in this game. So with that, they're always finding different ways to make things work. And I mean, it does seem like Swifty has timed out though, so that is not going to be a great sign here for them.
That is really unfortunate. I mean, it does help if Viewer vows out with their call. We've got Lethal Doesn't Miss, who tweeted at us saying AVANT will take this one out. And I dare say with a player timing out, that might be the case. However, the fortunate thing for the squad is that because it's a half, they're able to end the game and see if the player can get back in. However, 10-2, even with your fourth coming back in, 8-point deficit, that is a huge deficit to come back on here on Comeback Uplink.
I mean, 3 minutes 57 as well, as that scoreline is definitely going to be an interesting one at that. And we're just going to see, are they going to be continuing up this map? Doesn't seem to be the case.
No,
They've ended it. And yeah, that's going to be 10-2. 3 minutes 57 though. Let's just write that one down. And I mean, yeah, it's still an incredible scoreline.
Yeah, no, it really is. Again, the caliber of these teams, if anything comes down to points rather than the clock, I think that's interesting no matter what. Not quite as interesting as that S&D comeback, but still very interesting. So we did have one player timeout, guys, as Mikester did mention. We're going to be trying to get them back in. I will use this opportunity, however, just to talk once again about our upcoming events for those of you who didn't catch that one. Hopefully, fingers crossed that we can get this missing player back in before we have to go to a break. So ACL Brisbane is our next event, guys, May 30 to 31st. It's going to be at the Edge, South Bank in Brisbane. Make sure you catch that one. If not, make sure you get all of the action live from our streams. Yes, streams plural, folks. We're going to have an Alpha and Bravo stream live from ACL Brisbane. For all of the details, you can get it from aclpro.com.au. And of course, after that, we have announced recently our second LAN of the year, Mikester, here in our hometown
of Sydney. Just to finish off your sentences.
Just to go for the handoff. Wasn't the smoothest handoff, but we got there.
It really wasn't, but it's okay. It's going to be on June 28th and 29th. Once again, as Josh mentioned, of course, ACL Sydney. Sydney being the key term there. Of course, players were asking for one, and of course, it's not going to be as good as Brisbane because it's not just a console event. We're going to be adding over that PC section too. Of course, not only Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and Halo for the console side of things, but also PC Counter-Strike for the first time at an ACL event, and also StarCraft 2, definitely a regular there in that side of things. It's going to be some great fun, and I still, like I said, it's not going to be just a console master race, but it's definitely going to be some great fun.
Console master race.
Exactly.
It's funny you say that because I was just about to say after missing out on Brisbane, the master race is going to be showing once again at Sydney. All right, well, differentiating terms here. However, we are going to be seeing Counter-Strike for the first time ever at any ACL event, which that in itself is very exciting. These guys are going to be dominating the main stage, and I'm sure they're going to be putting on a great show for the Aussie CSGO community. However, we are here in the ACL 5K, hashtag ACL 5K for those of you following at home. Make sure you've got it trending on Twitter for us, and make sure you get at us with your predictions for this series. We're going to be heading into the second half, folks, the second half of this game. Uplink on comeback. We've got our players all back in. 3 minutes and 57 seconds is the time to beat for the guys of the faction. So keep an eye on your timer, guys, because that's the one you're looking out for. 3 minutes 57. Getting straight back into the action, though. I see a lot of kills for the guys of the faction.
I mean, that, of course, means that on the actual timer itself, 1 minute 3 seconds is what we're going to be looking for. Once it hits to that point, that's what we're going to be aiming at. And, of course, remember, the overall scoreline is also 10-2 as well. So you're going to be looking, the sides have swapped. So you're going to be looking at the blue team as the team that initially had 2. They now have 4 points. The red team is of Atlas, going to be T1, who now have 10. So you're going to always keep adding that at the back of your mind. We'll keep reminding you as well. And, I mean, you still look at this game, and, I mean, AVANT, they need to show that spirit. That break might have, even though it wasn't their fault, of course, because one of the faction players timing out, that break may have just metaphorically killed them.
Yeah, well, it's never good to get thrown off, especially, it can go both ways, but arguably for the team that was winning, you could say, oh, that threw us off. The other team who was losing, what are they going to say? Oh, we're going worse now? Yeah. I mean, we were losing, but we're going worse. But look, straight into the action, though, the faction, I just saw their kill feed just lit up. There was about 4 or 5 kills in a row. Their slaying power is immense. Blue on the 4-point streak right now, 6 for 3. Swifty, teammate, is going huge in his own right as well, 4 for 3. As you can see here, positive across the board for the faction. Wolfie on the other side, unfortunately lagging behind a little bit, 1 for 6. Issei, team captain, going the even money on that 2-point streak right now. Just as a reminder, folks, your scoreline right now is 8 for the Sentinel side, which is the faction, for 12 for the guys of T1. So add 2 to blue, add 10 to red. So you've got 8 to 12 is your score, and we do have to end it at 1 minute and 3 seconds. So just to throw a little bit of a spanner in the works, however, it is now 12-10, Mike. We've got a 2-point game on our hands.
We do indeed. And I mean, I'm looking at Luca right now to get these points on the board. Going to be dunking it on in. They hit that 10-point mark in 2 minutes 22. So, I mean, theoretically, it still needs to get played.
Yeah,
for a little bit longer.
Does. So 2:22 So was the time that they got it. We were supposed to end at it was 3:57. So we're going to have it's a minute and what's that? 34 seconds.
Not only that, but I mean they need to end the game and start it back on
Yeah,
up
that's right.
on those right sides. So I mean, yeah, that's definitely adds more to the mix.
All right. So essentially, what's happening is a minute and 34 seconds to just whoever wins, right?
Yeah, I mean,
But what would happen? Because you'd normally have to switch sides, would you not?
no.
Oh no,
This was the second half.
Yeah,
so
of course.
So we're going to be still starting back on up on that same side. I do believe they're going to be a little bit confused as well. So I think we'll go to a. No, actually, I don't want to do that. I think you're just going to ramble on.
Well, I mean, if they can sort it out, then that's fine. Hopefully they can. We'll figure it out. We're just going to get into a bit of a chat with them in a second to make sure it's all good. But for those of you who are following along at home, it should be a minute and 34 seconds with whoever team can get. It's the most points in the minute 34. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the overall scoreline still continues. So with that, they just need to continue off that remaining period of that second half or the first to 20.
Well, there you go. There you go. The more you know. Hopefully the encyclopedia powers are working with you today.
I really hope so.
I'm embracing it.
I do believe we need to sort
I'm leaning on you, buddy.
I do
Let me get in that backpack.
I do believe we need to go do a little bit of a short break to explain these to explain this to the actual players themselves. So we'll be back right after this for more uplink action.
All right, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here in the Uplink comeback game, Game 3 here of this best of 5 grand final series of AVANT T1 up against the faction. Now, we've got some clarification here. Well, Mike knew what was going on all along. I got some clarification. We've got a minute and 34 seconds left to play here in this comeback uplink game. And it's basically whoever gets the most points at the end of this. Think of this as the second half of the game, but there's only a minute 34 left. So we'll be playing down to 3 minutes and 26 seconds. That is the magic mark. And right now, the guys from the faction do have a 2-point lead.
The good thing about all of this is that we don't actually have to worry about combining the scorelines anymore. It was onto an even field, so you can just think of the team of the faction just leading with 3 more points. So they're going to be just going great with that. And as you mentioned, you know, we don't have that much more time left in this half. And I think the team of faction just know this. I mean, 4-0 at the beginning of that. That's going to increase their lead to 16-12.
Yeah, they've done amazingly well right now. Now that's another thing to think of as well. You know, 16-12. Just those points, Mike, I just want to point that is a lot of points for both teams. You know, normally you'd see it more one-sided than that. However, not going to happen. Now, just keep an eye on the timer, guys. 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left for the guys of AVANT T1 to get 2 more points just to tie things up here. However, these guys from the faction looking very strong right now, Mike.
They definitely are. And, I mean, host has ended the game. I mean, I assume they think it was 1 minute 34. Let's see. I mean, it does tell us at the very end of this game, so let's see if they are correct.
Yeah, I don't think they were. I just distinctly
I think that was a little bit premature.
Calling
1 minute 16 seconds. So.
Oh, let's see. T1 could technically challenge this.
They technically can.
Shh! Don't tell them. Don't tell them.
Don't tell them.
Don't.
I guess we're just gonna have to see what happens. I mean, they were a little bit premature.
The lobby's closed.
Yeah, a minute 16, 17 seconds there. So a little bit earlier, but I mean, earlier on it was a minute 34. So I mean, that was 17 seconds.
Well,
2 points of difference could have meant the difference.
It could have. It was only 2 points.
It really was.
Look, officially, we've got no comment on the matter.
You heard nothing of that.
We stream it. It's up to the teams and the GB admins to sort that out. For now, going by what we saw purely as spectators, the win is going to the guys of the faction.
Yes,
they were in front. So
unless we hear other words.
That's tentative.
As
I want my lawyer present because this is tentative.
Yes, and I want his lawyer for me.
Yeah. So we're going to say that it's 2-1 to the faction, but that could change. After we come back from a quick break, we'll let you guys know. So remember, guys, the hashtag for this is hashtag ACL5K. Let us know what you think of this series and the crazy game we just witnessed. So, yeah, guys, don't go anywhere. I'm in Maniac, joined by Mike Sal. We'll be back after this break.